Hey, what's up guys? It's Yeti here. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about crouching in Valorant. This is a pretty big topic, and as soon as the game came out, a lot of pro players and streamers were basically talking like you should completely unbind your crouching and you should never use it. And I wanted to make this video to just like talk about it, explain what I think about it and how you can improve your gameplay using crouch, because I think it's a very important part of movement. And, just in general, I think it's a very good feature in the game. And to say something as silly to, like, unbind it is dumb. So, all right. So, first of all, like, let's explain crouching altogether and how it works, okay? So, when you crouch, your hitbox gets smaller, your movement speed gets smaller, and overall, you are way less mobile, right? In a game where Valorant, like, in general, you move pretty slowly, crouching makes you even slower. And I think that's one of the main reasons that pro players and streamers were complaining at start. But there's a lot more to it, right? Like, I personally use crouch whenever I am spraying, right? So you see, like, there's a bullet that goes really high up, right? Like, you can use it, like, to transfer your spray without actually dragging down too much. That's actually, like, one of the most useful ways. But something that people do that is actually really, really bad is they see an enemy and they crouch first already, and they start a gunfight. And as I said, the big problem is that in a game like Valorant, like, you're moving very slowly already. You're basically, like, standing out in the open crouched, and you are an easy target. Like, the person is probably aiming for head level. They see a guy in the open crouching, and they just, like, spray him down, right? Like, yes, your body becomes smaller in general, but you're still a very easily exposed open target. So this is, like, advice number one is, like, for all you new players, I would recommend you to stop crouching when you get into gunfights. Instead, like, don't fully peek out. Start shooting and use it to, like, transfer your spray. That's, like, a good way, And you can back out always. You don't have to, like, just crouch. Like, people tend to, like, I see this on a lot of streamers that are, like, lower ranks. Like, they get into a fight and they start fully spraying like this, and they don't stop. Like, once they're in the open, they're gonna just fully unleash their entire magazine to the enemy, and they will not give themselves a chance to, like, back out, right? So, like, instead, you pick an angle, do that, and you can always back out, right? So again, this is like crouching basically has no downside here, right? One, you are effectively improving the amount of DPS you will be doing. This is DPS stands for damage per second, because let's go here. Gonna shoot like that, okay, and now I'm gonna crouch and do the same burst, right? It's tighter. It is. The recoil is tighter, and the RNG is less apparent when you're crouching, right? So in general, you're doing more damage when you're crouched, but as I said, you become a movable, like, you become stable. You can't move at all, and you have to really be smart with how you use this, right? So, like, you go out like this, crouch, back out. Another really good way to use crouch, and I never see people doing this. There's a one-way smoke on... That's why I'm on this map, by the way, specifically. There's a one-way smoke that Cypher does like this, right? Obviously, it's a little bit lower to the floor than that, right? But even if the smoke is done correctly, you can crouch under and shoot it. You will still have visibility under the smoke, and you will be able to crouch and shoot under. This is something I don't see people doing enough for some reason. Like, there are many one-ways where you can actually counter them by crouching, so just try. Like, I won't want to go and name each specific ones I've seen where crouching worked right now, but there are quite a few. So, like, yeah, if you see a one-way, try crouching and shooting at the enemy player. Another good way to use crouching, and this is going to be probably, you guys will be like, what is he saying? This is pretty insane, but it does work. Again, in Valorant, when you have a gun out, right, and you're shooting, you have good accuracy. When you're moving, your accuracy is really, really bad. However, when you're when you're shift walking, it's pretty good. It's not perfect. And when you're crouching, it's even better. So you can actually do this disgusting thing called crouch peeking. This is gonna trigger your enemies when you do it towards them. Like, trust me, if you kill a guy crouch walking, some people also call it like crab walking or whatever. I have heard that term recently. Thing is, you have perfect accuracy. So, like, the moment you see him, you can start shooting, right? Like, it's actually, like, in some angles, it is insane, because you don't have to stop even. You just, like, instantly start shooting at them. And it can be used as a massive surprise effect on many, many maps. So, like, again, try this in ranked, and you can see how people react. Like, I've done it to so many players, and they were absolutely pissed about it. All right, so another good way to use crouching is like probably a very obvious one, but it's to make your hitbox smaller, right? Let's say there's a guy under there, right? And you're trying to cross here. There are a few tips to make your body appear smaller and, you know, decrease the chances of the enemy player hitting you, right? So the first one's the most obvious one. As we already mentioned, it's crouching, right? But crouching plus looking down is how you make your guy as small as possible, because, like, you know, bodies tend to lean forward a little bit when you're aiming down. So, like, you are just as small as possible this way, and you can actually, like, go under certain places, and there's a certain way to avoid peeking where you're gonna be like, wow, I didn't even know I can cross that. So, like, again, try this. Like, if you're getting, you know, shot from a place like that, like, crouch, look down, and you might be able to, like, avoid many shots. Obviously, don't just stand there in the open, like, when I get out, but that's like another really good way to use crouch in Valorant that I see like almost nobody do. All right, so another very useful way to use crouch to your advantage is actually when you're going up against an operator. Let's say we gotta go to a closer angle here. Like, let's say there's an operator right there, right? And you are peeking from this angle. There's a few ways to peek him. Like, one of them would be like shoulder peeking him. I would never suggest that, because in this game you're not really fast and he can tag you really fastly. Like, he can easily tag you. Second one is like peek and shooting. I would not recommend that either, because again, it'd just be faster to you. Another one is actually where crouch and jump come in handy, and this is a pretty fucking crazy technique. But I think you should do it when you're peeking it up. It's probably the only way to survive. To jump and crouch and shoot, right? So first, you jump, because that way he will leg shot you. And then you also drop down and crouch, because you just, like, he's gonna have to go up, down. And I just, in general, I think it's a good way to, like, to make him flick his crosshair around and to surprise him. Like, you jump, he probably legs you, and you crouch for that pinpoint laser accuracy, and also for the reason we mentioned earlier. And I think that's like how you can actually win a battle against an operator holding an angle, because we all know that, you know, operator is really strong in this game. And the only way to, like, not die to the operator is to either instantly one-tap him or to make him miss / tag you in the legs, which doesn't fully kill you if you have 150 HP, which is, you know, health and full armor. So, yeah, let's say the guy is playing right there, you know, jump, drop, and yeah, look at that, like, with the Vandal, like, do you feel that, like, strong accuracy, like, that pinpoint accuracy? Let's try that without crouching, okay? Let's go like that, jump. It's still pretty good, but, like, it's not quite as good as crouching. Let's do it again. What? Yeet. Yeah, look at that. Like, I don't know. You have to try this in game. I don't think the video really does it justice, but when you're crouching down and starting to shoot your, like, rifle, you are super accurate. And, you know, I'm glad Riot is not changing that, because they have talked about this in their forum posts and Reddit posts and stuff. And they said, like, listen, crouch does its job perfectly. We're not changing it. And now that the meta is finally developing, I'm happy to say that crouching is in a really good spot. All right, and lastly, I want to talk about opping and crouching, because this is, again, really useful. As the operator, you have the upper hand, because at the moment, operator is probably the most insane weapon in the game. You don't make a sound when you zoom in. You have double zoom, one-shot body shot, etc., right? So whenever you're holding an angle with the op, you can make yourself so tiny by, you know, being already really far away from the enemy and also crouching. The odds of a rifler killing you is basically 0. So, like, another way to smartly use it is to, like, whenever you're holding an angle to, like, crouch, it will not, like, look at this angle here, for example. This is a really, like, hard angle for a rifler to kill you, except if he, like, full-on pre-fires you. And even then, you know, you can stand either here or here, and you can confuse him. And let's say this time you take this angle, you know, the next round you take this angle, like, you will have an insane advantage. And the odds of him clicking on a tiny pixel like that are pretty freaking small. Anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this video. If you guys liked it, make sure to press that like button. Also, remember to subscribe for more Valorant guides. Also, I am live on Twitch almost every single day on twitch.tv/Yeti. I will see you guys there. Have a good rest of your day. I'll see you around later. So I get higher. Well shot, then 10 top, pass out.
crash out. You don't wanna be around when I crash and burn. I can't go back